Hello, and welcome to another video. We're going to be covering Advanced Prototype and Tactics in this video. In the top left, we have our set bonuses. I'm going to be using Shock Trooper and Veteran Ranger. Mandalorian Armament is viable, however, the uptime is pretty bad, so I just don't use it. Going into our stats, we have a slightly different loadout here. The reason why is because we're taking one extra Alacrity augment, and that's to smooth out the animation of Magnet Blast, because sometimes it'll lag. And I don't really like that. Kind of makes me not want to play the game. So personally, I go a little bit more Alacrity to prevent that from ever happening. Very rarely ever happens with slightly above the threshold. This has been a problem since last expansion. I parsed a lot, had this issue, went slightly high Alacrity, problem went away. So personal preference here. You may not notice this personally if your uptime's not perfect or really good, or if you're not parsing, you won't really notice this. This is maximizing every single APM kind of situation that you run into this problem. So going into our stats, for Alacrity 2 Accuracy Rest Critical, what I mean by that is that you're talking about the implant, earpiece, or enhancements, so where you're getting your secondary stats from. You want to have at least 4 of those be Alacrity, 2 of those being Accuracy. Everything else can be critical. Your augments can be critical, except for that one Alacrity aug. If you want to copy mine, I use the Devastating Vengeance relic, and I also use the Mastery relic. Now going into my talent sheet, the ones I have marked red, I don't recommend. You can take the Shoulder Cannon Heal. However, if you're doing that, you're way off the beaten path, and you probably already know what you're doing, so I don't need to go into that whatsoever. The only thing that I really need to explain out of this entire tree is how much better Juggler is over the AoE option. So to explain quickly how it works is that the AoE one will only tick once. So it'll retick your dot, but it only ticks once. So for example, when you take Juggler, it'll retick your dot, and it'll do the additional damage. This is not only for a single target. If you're to do AoE, so let's say you're hitting 3 targets, you can go to Szurka or like the new place, Ruknik, or anywhere you want. Right, where you can hit multiple targets. Tab dot all of them, hit Shatter Slug. You'll be refreshing the dot. You'll see 3 different number spots. You'll be refreshing the dot, so that dot will tick, and then you'll also get the Shatter Slug damage, which is only going to be 1 damage tick, and then the next tick afterward is the Juggler tick. This adds up to be a lot of damage in any AoE situation, and also allows you to keep your dot on multiple targets, which means that you can rail shot any of your targets, and it'll actually vent heat instead of spend heat. This is a very important thing to know. Definitely recommend Juggler. If you're bad at tab dotting, you can use the other one, but typically, if you're bad at tab dotting, you probably don't really want to bother using Shatter Slug, and you should probably just do a little work on your rotation. But hopefully, this will help you kind of understand the rotation, which I'll get to in just a minute. We'll be running overwhelming offense most of the time. However, if you need more control, Neural Trigger is amazing. It's part of what makes Power Tech so incredibly busted right now. The amount of control that you get from Neural Trigger is unfair and quite obnoxious for AP because you can sync your Thermal Detonator and Energy Burst damage splat while you're actually taunt stunning. And taunt stun has a unique interaction with every class. And the reason why is that taunt is a debuff that kind of can stay dormant on someone. And what I mean by dormant is that it'll be there even if they're immune, unless they purge the taunt, which is not very easy. I think there's only very few things that can actually purge taunt. So if I'm going to taunt you, let's say you're Concealment Operative, I taunt you, I should try to do damage to you, and you God roll it. It'll actually stun you when you get out of your God roll. So it is very busted. A really important thing to know if you're going to use that talent, or not talent, but tactical. I don't feel good sharing that knowledge, but it's there. I think it needs nerfed. I think it needs just removed, to be honest with you. But there you go. A very abusive tactical, and optimally, if you want to maximize your burst, you're going to throw thermal and energy burst. And when your thermal is going to explode your energy burst, use taunt stun with it, so you can get all 3 of those damage splats all off at once, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it, because usually most of the time somebody will see thermal and they'll be like, oh, maybe I'll just camo this, or mitigate it in some sort of way. However, sometimes if you just taunt stun them, they won't be able to do anything. And from my personal experience, most people will not react until 1 GCD after you've thrown it. So you could do like a thermal, magnetic blast, or rocket punch, and then the next GCD afterwards, taunt stun. Because that's when they would have reacted, and they wouldn't be able to react because they're stunned. Anyway, going into our main opener, the reason why we flame soup is the proc particle accelerator, but also at the same time gives us a proc for rail shot, which is part of the accelerator. So this means that the rail shot does extra damage. Rail shot also has armor pin as AP. That's important to know. Against other heavy armor users, rail shot should be a priority pretty much all the time, especially power attacks. So we would go in thermal detonator into retractable blade into energy burst with explosive fuel. Make sure that you use explosive fuel before energy burst so it gets the extra critical. And then we're going to rail shot into power yield. I know that we're wasting our rail shot here, but it vents heat and it uses our proc, which means that we can re-proc it by hitting rocket punch, which will apply the sunder, and then we energy burst again, and then we can rail shot again, which will then allow us to vent some extra heat. Also, we'll be spamming shoulder cannon, which is a separate global cooldown, while our explosive fuel is up. Then you pretty much just go into your regular core, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're probably like, what the heck does that mean? I'll explain it now. So underneath heat manage, this is an example of like middle of somebody's rotation. What's happening when you want to manage your heat, but also at the same time, what does 1, 2, 3, 4 mean? Basically, it means rail shot. So you always want to try to make sure you proc your rail shot. It's like 4 GCDs, I think it is in total, or 3 GCDs to proc your rail shot. Sorry, I'm completely butchering how to explain this, but basically, let's say we just open with this rail shot here, the first one, right? The next ability is not going to be able to proc rail shot, and neither is the one after that. So we're going to punch because it's more damage, and then we're going to vent some heat with rapid shots so we don't hit over the 39% threshold. Then we're going to magnetic blast. That's going to proc rail shot, but we have energy burst right now, so we're going to use energy burst, and then we're going to rail shot. So we've delayed the 1, 2, 3, 4. And since we've delayed it, things have changed a little bit. So after our rail shot, we're going to rapid shot because we need to vent some heat, and then we're going to punch again because it's up, it's more damage, and it's going to proc our rail shot. And since we delayed it, our rail shot is going to actually be procced from the punch. Then we're going to go thermal, which is going to then further delay again the rail shot proc. And we'll go into rail shot, and then the magnetic blast, first one is not going to proc it, but the second one will. And after the second one, we can rail shot again. Then punch, and then auto. Since we basically, after the 2 magnetic blasts, we reset the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the punch won't proc it, but neither will the auto attack, and then the 4th ability there will proc it. Hopefully that makes it a little bit more sense. If it doesn't make any sense at all, just go ahead and dummy for a while. You kind of get it. The basic thumb rule is if you're about to hit over 39% heat, auto attack or leap to vent your heat so you're not hitting over that threshold. Because if you hit over that threshold, it's really hard to manage your heat. And if you have any questions about that, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. Now going into game here, I'm sure that was a little bit more than what you're ready to unpack all at once, but there is definitely some more things that I want to show you in game that is mostly important, mostly just quality of life things that you can do. So we're using overwhelming offense, which doesn't matter too much. So if you're ever to have a target, let's say this target, we've just bursted this target and we need to switch another target, but there's a distance between them. You don't have leap, and maybe they're not far enough to get leap. So what you can do with Deadly Onslaught, which I have the wrong keybind, so I'm going to have to manually hit that. I can hit this, and I can run away. So I can quite literally use this as I'm running away, and you can run really far away from that. Say I have hydraulics. So I could just run to a completely different target, start hitting that target. So you can actually use Deadly Onslaught as an ability to make it so you're not losing damage while you're still switching targets. This is something that you should always keep in mind of, because there's a lot of stuff that you can actually do and make use of that. However, it is a high heat ability, so you don't want to over spam it. That's one thing that you'll see me do every now and then. Also does good damage in AoE. For example, you can see the hits that I'm doing here. These are really not that bad of hits. Obviously, only one of those critically hit. However, it's overall a decent ability. And then to give an example of Juggler, so now we have the dot on the target. When we roll shot, we get 2 yellow ticks. One's Juggler and the other one is just the dot refresh. In AoE situations, those 2 ticks also happen, plus Shatter Slug, because Shatter Slug refreshes. Then, if you're interested in defensive management, I have a video completely dedicated to it. I have a whole bunch of guides actually that I'm going to be linking into the description. If you're interested in defensive management, I did a 2-hour and 30-minute video guide with timestamps so you can skip to the classes that you want to know about. Highly recommend checking it out if you're interested in defensive management. Otherwise, there's not really much else to AP. It's actually really simple. It's a lot of fun, and it's not as broken as it used to be, but taunt stun still being in the game fundamentally breaks the class, much like how Shard of Mortis is kind of breaking how critical works. Anyway, hopefully you guys got something from this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to help. And other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day.